Hello, today I'm going to be reviewing this James Theo 5-shelf oak wood modern bookcase. We've had this for about 2 years since we moved into this house, and I'll go over the pros and cons of this as well as any secret tips that I have. So what's nice about this is it has an open frame, and so you don't have to worry about like the side and opening and closing it. So everything is always out on display, which is a pretty modern look. It also decreases the weight because you don't have a bunch of wood here and there and all around, right? So it gets rid of all of the shell of the wood, if you will. And so it's really easy to assemble. The instructions were really clear. My wife and I put this together. It only took about 20 minutes, which, considering the size, is pretty good. Now, I will point out this right here at the attachments. There's a screw that screws into the wall, so you want to make sure that you know where the studs are or have a stud finder, because this is such an interesting frame, and you can tell right here that the bar is down the center. Now, that means if you put too much weight on the front, it would throw off the center of gravity and it would fall forward. So that's why you really should consider screwing it into the wall into a stud, because if you don't, especially if you have kids or pets, the risk of knocking this down is going to be pretty high. Another secret tip is, if you can, put the heaviest items on the bottom and the lightest items on the top, and that way that also pulls the center of gravity lower, and so it's less likely to pull out of the wall or even tip. So I've kind of mentioned this before. I love the materials here. The mix of the wood and the metal, I think, is a really great look for it. The one thing that might be a con is that all of the shelves are spaced evenly throughout. And so if you have bigger items or smaller items, you just kind of gotta fit them where they go. So you could see that like this shelf is fully utilizing the space. We have a really big item, so it has to go on top. And then here we have like these smaller items, so it's like, okay, just stack them. So that is a con, is that it's fixed positions for all of these. And so you don't have the ability to customize it. Having said that, I think it's pretty much okay. I can overlook this because it looks so good. And it's really sturdy material. And then sort of the last con is, this is really versatile because you can put a lot of stuff on it. However, because you're screwing it into the wall, it's unlikely that you're going to be able to move this. So once you pick a spot, you kind of have to live with it. Otherwise, when you're going to, if you wanted to move like a standalone bookshelf, you could just pick it up and move it. With this, you kind of have to take everything off because it doesn't close up. And then you have to unscrew it, fill in the hole, and then screw it in somewhere else. So if you don't like the position or you want to change the position, that is a consideration for down the line. Having said that, I've had this for 2 years. It's been in the same position, and it's worked really well for us. There's a little nook here where sometimes we can store like a little box, or we could put a side table there. We usually put like our vacuum here sometimes. I just moved it for this. But overall, I think it's a really great item, a really great bookshelf. It looks great in our house, and it gives that modern look, and it's really flexible for what you can put on it. So I do hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching.